Hi everyone, my name is Trisha Thiagarajan and I'm an incoming junior at Mission San Jose High School in Fremont, California. Welcome back, and this is going to be part 3 of my cybersecurity series. Today we're going to be learning all about cryptography, which is an extremely vast and interesting subject and my favorite lesson in this entire series. So let's get started. So this video is part of a larger cybersecurity series which is meant for middle and high schoolers who want to learn more about cybersecurity. This will be part 3, which is all about cryptography. And in the last video, we went over data breaches, and in the next video, we're going to be going over cyber threats. I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. Now let's start with the definition. What is cryptography? In short, cryptography means hidden message, meaning that cryptography is the science behind hidden messages. But in a longer form, cryptography is the practice of converting readable information, known as plain text, into an unreadable format, known as ciphertext, using algorithms and keys. Imagine this. Let's say Adam and Sally are texting each other like normal. However, now let's say a hacker was able to intercept their network and was able to see what they were texting about and even possibly change their messages to one another. That would be bad. And that's exactly where cryptography comes into play. Cryptography allows Adam and Sally to encrypt their original message, again known as the plain text, using a cipher to create a cipher, which is the ciphertext. This allows no hacker to actually understand what Adam and Sally were talking about, except them two. Now, why is this important? A lot of data and information is transferred and stored online, and a majority of it is personal information. If an unauthorized individual or party has access to this information, it could cause all sorts of problems. Cryptography ensures confidentiality and the authenticity of data, making it extremely important in today's society when it comes to protecting information from it being misused or accessed without permission. Now, there are two main parts of cryptography: encryption and decryption. Encryption is the process of turning information into a code using a cipher or an algorithm. Down here, you can see the general process. You have your original message, known as the plain text. Then, this message is encrypted using a cipher. A cipher is a series of steps or rules to change the format of the text. Our ending result gets us our new message, or our ciphertext. Keys. The key is a secret value used by the encryption algorithm to lock or encrypt or unlock or decrypt the data. This ensures that only certain people are able to lock or unlock the message. You can think of this like a mailbox. If Adam and Sally are sending letters to each other, the key is what opens the mailbox. The cipher, on the other hand, is actually what changes the wording of the letter. Now, there are two important types of encryption that you should know about: symmetric and asymmetric encryption, and they both work a little bit differently. Symmetric encryption uses only one key. The same key is used to encrypt and decrypt messages. As you can see here in the diagram, the same key is used in the encryption and the decryption processes. Asymmetric encryption, on the other hand, or also known as public key encryption, uses two different keys. One key is used to encrypt and one is used to decrypt. As you can see in the diagram, the public key is used in the encryption process, allowing anyone to encrypt a message, but a private or a secret key is used to decrypt the message. This allows so only certain people can view the message. How encryption is used today. Now, you might be wondering that I don't ever use a cipher to send my messages, and this is completely true. The reason why is because most websites do this encryption automatically. Have you ever noticed the lock symbol on your website browser? This means that your connection is secured through the HTTP protocol. Now let's talk about how encryption is actually used in websites. When we enter a secure website, which begins with HTTPS, the browser and the website need to agree on how to communicate with each other. which is done through asymmetric encryption, or also known as RSA. The website sends its public key, which is used by the browser to generate a symmetric key. The symmetric key is then sent back to the website, and the website is able to decrypt it using the private key. Now, all of the data is encrypted with that shared symmetric key, and all your information is kept safe. This might seem confusing, but there are videos located in the resource page of the CyberNet website in order to guide you. Now, let's look at our example with Adam and Sally again. Here, they are now able to securely communicate through encryption, and no hacker could ever guess what they were talking about. Decryption is the next part of cryptography, which is essentially just the opposite of encrypting a message. It's a process of turning encrypted information back into its original form using the reverse cipher. Down here is the general process, but as you can see here, it's just the same but reversed. First, we have the scrambled message, which is known as the ciphertext. We use the reverse cipher to unscramble the message and then end with our original message, known as the plain text. If we go back to our scenario with Adam and Sally, Sally will now be able to decrypt this message because she knows what key and what cipher were used to encrypt the message in the first place. Now let's talk about ciphers. There are many different ciphers that are used today in cryptography. One of the earliest known ciphers is called the Caesar Cipher. Why? Because Julius Caesar used this cipher to protect important information during his military reigns. The Caesar cipher is an overall very simple cipher. It involves substituting each letter in the original message with another letter, getting an overall scrambled message. To do this, the cipher shifts each letter a certain number of letters to the right or left to basically get a new alphabet. As you can see here, the Caesar cipher shifts the alphabet 2 times to the right. So A corresponds with C, B corresponds with D, and so on. However, this cipher is very easy to crack as there are only 25 possible ways to shift the alphabet. This is why much more complicated ciphers are used today. Alright, now let's wrap things up. The first thing we learned today is what is cryptography and how is it important in today's society. Again, cryptography is the process of converting plain text into ciphertext using a cipher, which is important to protect confidential information. Number 2, how does encryption and decryption work? Encryption is the process to turn the plain text into a ciphertext, and there are 2 types to this, asymmetric and symmetric key encryption. Decryption is the very opposite, from ciphertext to plain text. And lastly, we learned about the Caesar cipher, one of the oldest symmetric ciphers. It works by shifting the alphabet a certain number of characters to generate a new alphabet, but it is fairly easy to crack. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in the next video, which will be about different types of cyber threats. If you'd like to test your understanding, you can take the short mini quiz in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.